Guests, Your Solution Live, episode number 463. I must ask, is it possible? Change your self-talk, change your life. Is it possible? Santos here with guest Mateo. Jim was supposed to be with us. I'm hoping he'll be in the comments moderating. This is going to be a part one of a two-part series. We're going to be talking about self-talk and journaling. Okay? Duration is going to be about 40 minutes or so. The theme is in recovery and mind renewal. That's what we're talking about here. Mind renewal and recovery. All right. So welcome in, quitting gambler. Welcome in. Please turn down all distractions. Lock the door. Grab some wine or tea, some popcorn if you'd like. And by the way, if you're new, please subscribe. If you like tonight's content, please give me a like and share it. More godly wisdom, light to help you navigate through the darkness is coming within this community. So welcome aboard. If you got a question, again, put it in the comments. I am suggesting tonight that you turn down all distractions and grab a piece of paper or note and a pen. All right? So tonight we're going to be diving into something that can literally change the way you live, think, and recover. And that's your self-talk. The words that you speak to yourself are either building you or breaking you. And I am here to remind you, you have power over your words. Today's proverb is 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Let's chew on that for a second. Mateo, welcome all the way from Ohio. We're going to give Mateo here a chance to share.
Yeah.
What's on his mind and what he feels about self-talk, because that's what we're really talking about here.
Yeah, so this is the start of my journey. I'm attempting to really try and find the root causes of what caused me to gamble this much. It started about 3 years ago, and I was doing great financially, and I was successful, and everything seemed to be going right in my life until I was scrolling on YouTube, and I got affected by gambling ads, and the first ever video I saw was like a Monopoly online gambling type of video, and I clicked the video, and I watched somebody win like 80,000 euros. So I saw the money in my account that I was doing so successfully. I was investing. I had Bitcoin. I had money in PayPal, all different types. Okay, I was good financially, and I thought, if this guy won 80,000 off like what, a $10-15 bet, then the possibility for me is I can take this 30,000 and turn it into millions, right? That's what I thought. That was the mistake, and that started the downward spiral. I would put 500 in, I would lose it. I would put another 1,000 in, and I thought, what? At first, I wanted to stop. To tell the truth, I wanted to stop after I lost the first 500, and it was kind of like some anxiety in me told me, you can't stop now. You have to keep going. You have to go all in. And I didn't have anybody around me at the time. I didn't have good, responsible financial figures in my life to tell me like, hey, you just spent $500. This can start a really bad habit. It can trickle down. And it did trickle down. That 1,000 went and turned into 2,000, then 5,000. Then by the time you knew it, I was in a hole that I dug myself in about $20,000. And that was only in like 2 weeks. So some of you have to realize, imagine saving up 2 years, a year of money, like 20,000. I didn't have a good job. Okay. I was working like pizza delivery, and imagine just losing all that hard work so quickly, the snap of a finger, and then you not knowing what to do. All I had left was about 10, 15,000. I was like, what do I do? I just threw away my future. So I took that money and I invested it into other things like stocks and cryptos, and then those blew up again. So I had more money. So I was like, oh, I just won all my money back from investing. I can never lose. I just lost, but I put the remaining in this investing. If I gamble again whenever I want, I can just invest and find any one of these Doge coins, and that's what I was investing in, and I can get rich again. So that was my mentality. I'm giving you guys a direct feed into what my mind was thinking throughout that period of my life. It was literally telling me, like, this is easy money. You can invest, you can make it all back, and you can flip and grow it whenever you want. That was not the case. That is not the case. I want to give you guys watching, who's watching now and who's going to watch this video later, that you have to listen to everything that Jim and Santos says very clearly if you have a gambling problem. Gambling will destroy your life. It will destroy your mindset, and it can bring you to clinical depression. Okay, that's what it did to me. I was losing hope for a long time. If it wasn't for this guy, I would be so depressed. I'd probably not be here right now. Okay, so I thank him a lot for keeping my mind sane, because what gambling will do is it'll drive you insane. Okay, and it's not your fault. You know, it's our society and our conditioning that has made us believe that these things are okay. But I just want to let everybody know here that gambling is a very destructive habit, and it's very dangerous.
I have to agree with you there, Mateo. And, thank you for sharing that, because we're on the topic of self-talk. And as you were sharing, I was listening to what you were saying. You were thinking, right? Silently, during alone time, during times of winning, or during times of loss. We are talking. We are talking, and we're struggling, right? Most people today, 99%, 98% of people are struggling today, folks.
Yep.
98. Am I going to sit here and say, am I struggling to some degree? I'm struggling to some degree. I'll admit it. I'm also working. I'm practicing. Let me read this again, because it's important, folks. I hope that you guys out there that are listening, I hope you're taking some notes. By the way, thank you. Somebody donated. Thank you for that donation. I appreciate it. You need to understand what you're doing. And again, this is a two-part series. We're breaking into self-talk and journaling, because I believe that God wants to share something with you and me, right? And I know, as Mateo was sharing, the self-talk is going on. Listen to this, folks. In fact, this is funny. Why did the journal go to the therapy? Or why did the journal go to therapy? Because it had too many issues. That's just a freebie. I throw that in there. Anyways, I wanted us to chew on this for a second. Life and death in the tongue. That means that you are either feeding your freedom or you're feeding your fear. You're either feeding your freedom or you're feeding your fear. Self-talk are key one, or point one, words are seeds. Every word that comes out of your mouth is a seed, and it's going to grow into something, folks. If you're a gambler and you're wanting to quit, this is one thing that you want to be thinking about, is your talk, your self-talk. Mateo was talking about his thoughts, his thinking, what that was going on in his head, right? And we have to understand what's going on. Mateo, let me ask you a question. When you were going through what you were going through, did you really stop to think about what was going on? Your self-talk? Were you thinking about any of that at all?
No, no. You see, what was happening in the beginning stages was a reflection of what was happening in the late stages. I was cycling. My mind was cycling, and I didn't have any time to catch or to try and think of any type of a responsible thought. So what gambling will do is, it's such a degenerate activity that it'll infect other places of your mind and other places of your life into more degeneracy. So you'll kind of lose touch of who you really are. So if anybody's been gambling here for a long time, I can guarantee you that you're not the same person that you are now after you gambled compared to the person you were before you started gambling.
Wow.
Is that true, Santos, for you?
Wow. Yeah.
Yes. That's what it does. and I bet it's changing other people's habits in their lives in many different other places. And I believe in my personal heart, I believe that gambling is a demonic activity because I'm somebody who I'm an empath. I can pick up on energies and people's emotions. Every time I walk into a casino, there's always there's like an evil thing lurking in the casino that I can just pick up on. And it's not an evil thing in physicality, it's a spiritual thing. It's almost like I can feel the devil, and I can feel like his schemes, because it was I know there's a quote in the Bible. It says something where it's like, though you may think that you're 2 steps ahead of the devil, he's always like 3 steps ahead of you. So the only person that can really stop the devil and can read the devil is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So we want to
Yeah.
make sure we're always on that a righteous playing field, because as soon as you start, not valuing things in your life financially, emotionally, spiritually, the devil will start to infect your life, and it'll start to destroy and erode your trust in God and your trust in humanity and your trust in yourself. Because that's what gambling ultimately wants to do. It wants to make you doubt yourself. I know there's a lot of people out there that are doubting themselves. I just want to let you know, you don't have to doubt yourself anymore. You have a community right here that's going to uplift you and make your life better.
Help. Yeah, help, definitely help in some way. By the way, thank you again, whoever donated. I'm not sure if there's any comments I can't see. Um, I technology. I'm having a little bit of difficulty with technologies, but we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it together. I know we are. So I do want to thank you there that donated. And first of all, or second of all, every word that comes out of your mouth is a seed, and it's going to grow into something. The question is, what kind of garden are you planting in your mind? What kind of garden are you planting in your mind? James 10 says, out of the same mouth proceeds blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be. And let me tell you, I struggled myself, Mateo. I may not struggle with the things that I used to struggle, but I still have, in other words, the struggle is to continue practicing to get free. And we need reminders.
Yeah.
I know we're going to be, we got about another 15, 20 minutes here, but I want to share something regarding technology that's going to help you on the other side. I'm going to share something here in a minute or two. It's a suggestion. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing. You're going to do whatever it is that you need to do. Yet, if you're struggling, you need energy, you need inspiration, you need community, and you need to hear the truth, right? Man, I don't, it doesn't feel good to be broke. I don't know about you guys on the other side, but when you're broke, it doesn't feel good. And you know what else doesn't feel good? In fact, I'm making a video, it's going to be out next week. Gambling makes no sense at all. Mateo, when you really add it all up, gambling makes no sense at all. Zero, nada,
No.
zip. Yet we fall. I believe that our thinking and our self talk has a lot to do with what we're doing. I've said this many times. You can talk yourself into things and you can talk yourself out of things. We need reminders. We need more reminders to help us talk ourselves out of things. When we're triggered, when we're tempted, right there, man, we've practiced enough that it automatically kicks in and it saves us during those times of temptation and triggers. We need reminders, folks. And I'm going to share with you here before the broadcast a few things that you can start doing using technology. We have to take advantage of technology. We have to. It's going to serve you. It's going to help you remind. Again, your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. But how do we remind ourselves? Man, I have a hard time reminding myself. So I got to use technology, and I'm going to be sharing that with you guys here in a little bit. All right. We're going to do that. I told my mirror I'd start talking nicer to myself. Now it smiles back every morning, Mateo. Anyways, let out of the same mouth. Let's say this from today forward. Hey, I'm sharing. I choose to plant words of life, strength, and recovery.
Yep.
Imagine saying that every morning and every afternoon in the evening, just reminding yourself, right? From this day forward, I choose. I choose. Mateo, you talked about choices. That sometimes you're getting in so deep into the gamble that you've lost yourself and you forget that you have a choice.
Right. Right. That
That's
that
on.
was that was me a lot of times. A lot of the times, like, I tried to mentally stop myself from going to the casino. Okay. I can't tell you how many times it was like maybe 8 or 10 times. I would always tell myself, now you have a chance. You can turn back now. And I always looked at that money and I said, I can hit that exit and I don't have to go today. But my mentality was already infected. I already was going to gamble that money. So, what I'm trying to convey to you guys is you're gambling because part of your brain is searching for lost money that you lost. Okay. So, now let's get the first thing out of the way. Let's both agree, you and me and Santos, that whatever money you lost gambling, it's most likely not going to come back. Not in the way that you think it's going to come back. It's not going to come back by you placing another bet and triggering that same dopamine rush, because that's number two. That's the next thing that your brain's searching for. It's trying to get to the same level of high that it got when you first placed your first bet. So that's the trick that your mind's playing. You're cycling because your brain is trying to convince you that things are going to be better if you keep gambling. But what me and Santos are trying to say to you is things are going to get worse. And I'm very flawed. I've been trying to stop for about 8 months straight, and I keep cycling. Today, I'm 7 days free. I haven't gambled in 7 days. I think that last day is very important because yesterday I'm going to tell you I'm going to be transparent. I tried to download another app because I wanted to sports bet again. But then I didn't want to put in the information because I didn't have some documents on me. And then I thought again, I'm cycling. I said, okay, I'm trying to do the same habit again, and I know how it's going to go, and I'm still trying to do it. So, when I was in that moment, I was like, okay, I have to calm down. I deleted the app right away. And I didn't know what to say to Santos because, of course, I feel ashamed. That's something that gambling will do to you too. It makes you feel very ashamed of yourself. And I just wanted to ask you, Santos, like, how do you get that away out of your life? Because that feeling of I'm ashamed, that made me gamble a lot of times. I'm ashamed I lost money. I'm ashamed I'm in this situation. You know?
Well, that's part of the recovery process, right? It is. There's some people that are very strong. You had a good childhood, good parents, good upbringing, great upbringing. You're a life adult now. You're a strong person, mentally disciplined. For some of us that didn't have that, that challenge right there is very difficult. And sometimes you find it later on in life. Some folks don't ever find it. Some folks perish in what they're doing.
Yep.
Journaling and self talk is big time. I mentioned this earlier. The Bible is full of words. I'm going to read this again. In fact, I'm going to recommend this here. Tonight, write down one negative phrase that you've been speaking to yourself and rewrite it in truth. For example, instead of I'll never change, write God, God is changing me every day. Folks, we got to turn our language around. We have to. We have to. We don't have a choice. You have to change the way you talk. I got to read this again. Every word, this is James chapter 3, verse 10. Every word that comes out of your mouth is a seed, and it's going to grow into something. James chapter 3, verse 10. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. Folks, listen to that. You can bless yourself. And is this perfection? Is this going to turn you into a God? Is this going to turn you 100% righteous and self? No, this is not. This is a start. This is a practice, but it's going to make your day a whole lot better. Folks, listen to this. Out of the same mouth proceeds blessing and cursing. So you're either blessing yourself or you're cursing yourself. And you don't even have to say it. You can just think it. You can just think it. Out of the same mouth proceeded blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be.
I just had to write that down. That's a very good quote. You can, people say this a lot. It's easier to put somebody down than it is to bring somebody up. And it's the same way the other way around. It's easier to keep putting yourself down, but if you never pick yourself up, you're not going to see your potential. You're not going to be able to help other people. And something about me says that whatever negative energy is out there, fuck it. It doesn't matter, right? Whatever energy is out there that thinks it's so big and stronger than everybody else, that thing didn't want me to come on here today to motivate people and get my message across. You know why? Because that thing is afraid of not only my potential, but the potential I can instill in others. That's powerful. That's something that doesn't have, because that negative energy out there, it doesn't bring anybody up. It just wants to destroy people and bring them down. So in this crazy time, in this crazy world, trust in yourself, trust in God, because that's all we really have. There's a negative energy on this earth that wants to destroy everything and everyone for no reason. Don't be like that. Be better. Instill values in yourself. Protect your mind, because when your mind is infected, your reality is infected. You can't make the right decisions. So navigate your life as if there's a certain responsibility to it, that you want to be proud when you wake up in the morning and you want to say, whatever that bad thing in my life is, I'm defeating it today with my mindset, with my words, with what I do. Because if you're not doing that, here's the quote I wrote on the back. I was going to say, we either fix this now or it will destroy us later. We either fix the things in our lives that are destroying us. There's no being sad in the future when you're living on the street homeless and everything's bad. What the Bible says, and it's very true, is you reap what you sow. So when I hear those words, it's reflecting back to me. You either take responsibility for your life now, or you're not gonna want to be responsible in the future, because your life's going to be destroyed. You're not going to have anything left. You're not going to have any reason to be motivated or to change anything or to be responsible, right? So we want to nail and nip this thing in the butt now before it becomes a problem for not only us but the whole world. You can see how gambling is infecting people. It might have started as a small community thing. Look at what it is now. It just shows you that dangerous things can cycle and they can destroy other things. Everything's interconnected. Life is very similar to biology. Everything is biological. It's all interconnected. It's the way evolution is. So we want to make sure we protect our little part of the pie so we can help and protect other pieces of part of the pie, and we can become stronger together.
Exactly. Stronger together. Hey, strengthening out. We're one slice of the pie and we're strengthening the rest of the pie. We're making the rest of the pie taste good. By
I
the
like
way,
that.
exactly. Gambling, folks, gambling is it's not just gambling either. It's a focus thief. Mateo mentioned that negative energy. It's an FT. It's a focus thief. What is your purpose? What is your vision? What are you supposed to be doing? Um, what is it that you're supposed to be doing so that you can be fulfilled? At least find some purpose and some fulfillment while you're here. How long will you be here? I don't know. People are leaving this planet. Some people are leaving faster than others, if you understand what I mean. Some people are just, they're quitting. And a lot of them could be gamblers. A lot of them could be, we're all sinners by nature, by the way. I know I am. May God help us all. Self-talk isn't always what we say. It's what we think. It's the whole voice in your head when you wake up, when you're alone, when you face temptation or disappointment. Now, we're coming close to the end of the broadcast. We've got about 10 minutes here. So once again, I want to thank you for being here. I'm not sure why I haven't received a comment. I'm not sure, but there's been quite a few on the feed. So thank you. Thank you for the likes. I don't know if there's been any shares. If you find this content useful, share it. Why should you share it? Because you're going to make me rich. Though I wish. You'll share it. You help yourself. You're helping me. And Mateo, you're helping others by sharing, right? Again, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I'm definitely not going to get rich on YouTube. I wish I could. We're here to spread truth about self-talk, about journaling. And of course, this is a faith-based mission that I'm on. So I'm going to tell you the truth, man. I get on my knees. If it might be in the bathtub, in the shower, my knees that hurt. I get on my knees and I get down there and I say, Lord, help me. Please. Sometimes I just don't know what to do, right? Lord, I don't know what to do, but I know you do. Please help me. Please help me. When you're alone, when you face temptation or disappointment, Philippians chapter 4:8 says, whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, think on these things. Philippians 4:8. Think whatsoever things are true. We need reminders. We need reminders, folks. We do. Man, I wish I could have this blaring all the time. Now, I'm going to share with you how you can get some reminders using technology. Before the broadcast is over, I'm going to share some good pointers with you, at least 3 or 4, using technology to help you remind yourself. Would you like to learn how to do that? Using technology to help you remind yourself? Because if you can't remind yourself, use technology, and technology will help you a little bit throughout the day. Okay? That's a good thing about we've got artificial intelligence, and then we've got superficial intelligence, folks. We're playing with fire. Mateo, we are. We are playing with fire. There is a negative energy in the world, and we know that comes from Antichrist.
Right.
And we are creating super intelligence. It's already here. First, it was artificial. Then it went to, artificial intelligence. And now we are headed into super artificial. S.A.I., super artificial intelligence. That's creeping into the games. That's creeping into everything that's marketing. And it knows more than we do because it's technology. And again, it's a fire. I don't want to be here to see that thing implode. I hope I'm not here. But when that thing implodes, if I tell you, it's super intelligence. It's just not a good thing with this negative energy, because once it gets a hold of it, there could be no stopping. It's kind of like the brain. If you allow the brain to be wired, continually wired, and you don't question things that are going on, you don't question your self-talk, you don't question your thinking, you don't question conversations, people that you're associating with, your mind goes into a place where it will not come back. And we
One
see
second. 1 second, Santos. This is another thing I wanted to speak upon that I think is very important. And by the way, I think you should probably extend the live here for a little extra 10 minutes, probably to 45 minutes, because I think we're going to talk about some very important things here. But if we spend our whole lives, questioning the if-ands and saying, if AI is going to destroy the world, isn't that the if and the and, if that and this, isn't that kind of correlating and tied to gambling? Because that's what gambling is. It's a risk. We're putting our money out on something that we don't know what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah.
So I think it's very dangerous for somebody's mind to be focused on the if and ands. We should be focused on what we can control in the now, because that's where our power is going to come from, right? To defeat anything that's evil, it's going to result in the now, you know. And I think that's what, the people that control AI are most afraid of. They're most afraid of, they want totalitarian control, but if the people know that, nothing can control them and that they have power in the now, then their plan's going to be folded and it's not going to work.
If enough people get onto it.
It's
But
just an idea. It's just
yeah,
an idea. I've been trying to instill a lot of like, don't be so feared, because when we're in fear, we're easily manipulated and controlled. We should be in confidence. That's what's going to make me defeat gambling in the future, is when I have confidence, when I say, I know I can beat this. I know that there's nothing that can trigger me, no matter what. I don't care what it is. Nothing will
yeah,
ever bring me back there, ever.
yeah. See, we have to get to that point, and that's a practice, and it's also a reminder. We have to get there. If we're not there, basically, we're gonna be like the limp fish handshake. We're going to be like a limp noodle. We're going to be tossed to and fro. And not just
Yep.
by sin, but by people, by marketing. By we got every day, every day that we get up, we're negotiating, right? You're either negotiating with yourself or you're negotiating with somebody.
Yep.
There's always this thing going on, and we have to interact unless you go and you become like a monk, right? If you become like a monk, you can go to the place wherever they go, and they go away from society. They still got to come back. Yet you can go there and hide out and become one with nature, but that doesn't really work that well because I mean, I guess it might for a little bit. You're still part of the world. You still got to interact and function. People are going to live and die, and so bottom line is that we do need reminders. We need reminders to keep us on track, and we need constant positive reminders, and we need to find ways to use the technology, even though technology is corrupt. Well, technology isn't corrupt, I should say that. It's not corrupt. It's the people behind that are using these mechanisms that can make it corrupt, right?
Yeah.
Technology is like a neutral thing. It's like a car that sits in neutral, like a machine that sits in neutral. And you start shifting the gears, that thing's going to start moving. Somebody has to get in there. Again, eventually it's going to get to the point where these gears and things are going to move on their own. And we're already there to a certain degree. So let's get away from that because it is a gamble. There's a lot going on. Um, the smart cities, the coins. Also, there's another thing going on with money, with the dollar. There's a lot of speculation that that's going to turn into a coin, that's going to go completely digital. There's a lot of questioning behind. I don't know how that's going to work. Money's going to disappear. It's going to turn digital. Are you going to keep the money that you have in the bank? Or now I don't know how long that's going to be, but this is where we're headed, and we have to navigate through all of these things. And the wiser that we are, like you said, the wiser with our own self that we have choices.
Yep.
You don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live in fear. It is a choice.
Yep.
Now, we can fear things. Nothing wrong with feeling fear, feeling afraid. Every time I come on this broadcast, I get a little butterflies in my stomach. I'm scared as skeletons. No, I'm just kidding. By the way, skeletons can't fight anyways. They don't have any guts. Uh,
I like
but
that.
but I come here, and again, we really need to be reminded. So we're headed. I don't know. We're headed towards the end. I know we'll try to extend this a little bit more, but we are talking about self-talk. The question. So the question becomes, what am I thinking on? If your mind is full of junk, pain, or guilt or shame, write it out and replace it with God's truth. Writing it out is also part of journaling, and we're going to be taking on that topic next Sunday. We're going to get deeper into journaling. Today is more about talk, self-talk and maybe technology. I'm not sure. But either way, gambling is a big fat lie. Any way you look at it, it makes no sense. Gambling makes no sense. Card playing, rolling the slots, or the slops, right? SLOPS, the slops, betting on animals or what have you. It's all a lie. It's all one big fat lie. And it's amazing. It makes no sense at all, but yet it has you captivated, man. It has you by the throat. It has you. You're broke, right? You're broke, man. You're giving up all your money. You're giving up your credit. You're broke. How can it be? It makes no sense, folks.
Gambling, you know what? Gambling is a bully. You know, it's a non-physical bully. You can't see it, but it's just like what a bully does. A bully, he will try and twist your words. He'll try and make an image of you so bad in his mind that he just wants to find every bad thing about you. He wants to pick and nit every bad thing about you and destroy you as a person. But what I'm saying is, don't you ever let anybody judge you. Okay? Just like in the Bible, it says that. Let God do that. Because as soon as you let people start doubting you and judging you, you start feeding into their lie. And that's what bullying is. That's what gambling is. It's a lie, it's an illusion, and it wants to destroy you and make you doubt yourself. I'm saying you don't have to doubt yourself. You can have that confidence that that bully's words don't mean anything. Let those words come. Let the bully speak. Let the gambling come, let the urges come, let it deflect off you. Think of yourself as a shield. Every time an urge comes, it deflects. Every time it tries again into a little passageway, you close it.
Play the
That's the
game.
mentality I want you to have every day
Play the game.
in your fight.
Exactly. Right? The game's being played against you. Play the game now. What you're talking about, that little game, spin it. Like the real estate people, they flip houses, right? We have to, folks, we have to get there or else. What other options? We have to get there. Is there another option? So the question again becomes, what am I thinking on? Is your mind full of junk, pain, guilt, shame? Write it out, folks, and replace it with God's truth. Key point number 3, awareness brings power. All right, we're getting close to the end of the broadcast. You can't change what you won't confront. Awareness isn't shame, it's power. It's you saying, I'm not going to lie to myself anymore. Romans 12, chapter 2 says, excuse me, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be not conformed. I am not conformed. Lord, help me that I am not conformed to this world. Sometimes I think that I am, right? Sometimes I think that I'm a loser. Sometimes I think, no, Lord, help me turn that around. I am not. I am so. I'm created in the image of God. We're all created in the image of God, every human being. Unfortunately, we're all sinners, but we're still created in the image of God, and we've lost the art of talking to ourselves. We've lost the art of journaling. We've lost the art of listening. Truth. People don't even hear today, folks. You sit and have a conversation with somebody, they can't even look you in the eye.
Yep. I've witnessed that.
This is what we're dealing with. And we can't be like that. We got to be opposite so we can at least be hope, right? Be hope to ourselves and be hope to other people. Go ahead, Mateo. Share. We're gonna be closing here.
Yeah. So
There's been quite a bit of activity, but I've had no comments. I'm not sure why is that,
oh,
but
they're commenting. You just have to scroll. That's what I did. I thought it was locked. I scrolled and then I saw people. So what I'm going to continue with here is I believe what we're witnessing in gambling and kind of social media is the mass numbing of people's minds. And when you numb their minds, they can't make decisions. They can't even make responsible awareness type of adaptations. They can't adapt to their environment. You're seeing that with Gen Z. You're seeing this with new generations. They're having trouble adapting to a world where they've been infected mentally. They've been numbed out. We have to reconnect with nature, reconnect with communities, because if we don't connect with each other, things are going to look really bleak, and the only people we'll have to blame in the end is ourselves for that. Where there's no going to be blaming governments or the devil or there. No, it's going to come to a point where our society is going to be so eroded financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, that we're going to look out at this world and we're going to be like, am I living in some type of like extraterrestrial sci-fi type of thriller movie? But no, we have to work together as a cohesive unit, uh, and work together to instill the right values. Because at the end of the day, the world is so messed up right now because we don't have the right values in mind. Would you agree with that, Santos?
Yep.
Where's the values, in today's culture? All I see is drugs, promiscuity, gambling, broken relationships, broken relationships, no communication.
People
There's no com- there's no community, you know?
people being silenced, and I'm talking about permanently because somebody doesn't like what they're saying,
Right.
you know. So I do want to thank everyone here. We might extend another few minutes. I do want to thank you. I can't see the comments for some reason. I don't know why. I usually am able to see the comments, but for some reason it's not letting me see the comments.
I see them.
Um,
They're loading. Don't worry. I see them loading.
yeah, so I do want to thank you, those of you that are here. I don't know who it is, but I do want to thank you, and I hope that you're taking notes, folks, because these podcasts, this podcast, Your Solution Live, is a very odd. It's an unusual podcast. I'll say that. This is an unusual podcast. There's a lot of podcasts out there that are talking about historical things and death and vitamins and fruits and all of those and exercising, and all of those things are great and dandy. But Soldiers of Self Mastery, this Your Solution Live, is a personal. It is a message that has a lot of spirit in it. And again, it's it we're here. I may not be here tomorrow, folks. I may not. I gladly accept that truth. I'm not afraid to leave. We but yet the message and the mission must go on. So as long as we're here and we can work together, like you said, Mateo, cohesive, right? Community. And you got to know who to trust, man. You trust the wrong people, they screw you over, man. They do. They mess you up. And then you got to keep your distance, and then you got to keep your distance from people that are like them. So I do want to thank everybody on this broadcast. Again, next week we're going to be talking about journaling. So we're going to get deeper into this because these two things will change your life. When you begin to practice this, you will see change. Keep a small notebook, okay? Keep a small notebook on your phone, on your notes. When you catch a negative thought, stop and reframe it, change it, flip it, right? I'm still broken. No, I'm healing. Well, I'm a gambler and I struggle with. I'm a gambler. I have choice. I have a choice. The next time, well, you might still fail. Well, Santos, I said that to myself, but I still gave in to the temptation. Keep doing it. Keep practicing. Oh, I failed one time. No, do it again. Remind yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and give Mateo, want to share a minute real quick, and then I'm going to give you a couple of tips on using technology to help you remind yourself. This will make your life a little bit easier. In fact, you can use this for other things too. So stay with me. We're going to close the program. And again, subscribe, comment, like, and share. If you like this content, again, somebody donated. I appreciate the donation. Thank you. $7 or more, you can get the free quick guide updated. We got 2 ebooks. We got a couple books on Amazon. There's tools. All you got to do is reach out and say, hey, what do you got? What can you do? Where can we go?
I'm just going to give my little outro message. So I'm just going to say something real simple, and it's just going to be, ask yourself every day, how you view yourself, because if you don't view yourself nicely, you're not going to treat yourself nicely. And that's kind of the message that I would like to tell my past self if I could. Don't view yourself in a negative light. Always try and uplift yourself in every aspect of life.
Yes. And let's say it's possible. It's possible. Let's say it. Don't be ashamed to talk. Listen, you're talking to yourself. I talk to myself in front of people sometimes.
Yeah.
I get a bad thought in a crowd somewhere. I may just blurt out and say something to myself. It doesn't matter what people think. What
Yeah,
matters
me
is that
too.
I'm in control. What matters is that I rewire this thing, because I'll tell you that your mind will play games. It'll trick you. It'll trick you, and you'll fall. You'll fall. You'll fall for the bully. That bully's around. Sometimes he gets the best of you.
Yep.
But once you see the bully for what it is, like I said, once you confront and have at least an understanding, now you got a little bit more of a fighting chance.
And let me add something to that. You know, um, every time you doubt yourself and you say something negative, you're feeding into the bully again. And I just want to tell you all, when you keep gambling, you're bullying yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're becoming the person you resented. You don't want to become that. Do the right thing and be the opposite of the bully. Be a positive light. Shine a positive light on not only yourself, but others around you. It'll make your life better and it'll make you feel better as well.
Amen. Amen. All right, folks, we come to the end here. I've got a few things that I want to share with you. Distract your distractions. All right. Distract your distractions using technology, because you can. All right. And you should. If you need reminders, use your calendar. Okay. How you can use your calendar. You can set reminders. You can actually, if you have a smartphone or a regular phone, you can actually create comments. You can create statements, and you can paste it right onto the calendar, and you can set the date and the time. And if you want this to remind you once a week, once a day, or you can customize it. Point is that you're using your calendar to help you remind you of words and statements that you want to be hearing for yourself. My comments and my whatever I put in there won't help Mateo, right? He has to get his own formula together so that it reminds him of precisely what it is that he's to do and where he's going. Folks, we can do this with technology, and it'll help you. Again, you don't need to try to struggle with your brain. Make it a little bit easier on your brain. Use your calendar, right? Another thing that you can do is you can use an app called Perspective app. That is a journaling app. It is completely free. You can set the notifs in there, notifications, to communicate with you. It will send you notifs. It will send you notifications. Hey, you didn't put a journal in today, or how are you feeling today? What's going on with you? Again, it's reminding you you're using technology for yourself, right? This is going to save you time. You set it up one time. You don't have to set it up every day on your phone. You set it up one time, and boom, it's in there permanently. All right. The other thing is, if you haven't set notifications on your subscription here, do that. When we go live, we again, I want to do so many things, but I'm a one man deal here. I'm getting a few members to come on board. This is a lot of work, and I have a lot of ideas. And man, I wish I could get them all together. It takes time and money, and a lot of us are running out of it. Right? We are running. We have to keep working to get more. We have to keep working to get more, get more positive. So if you turn your notifications on when we go live, Dibs, you're getting encouragement. You're getting encouragement, motivation, and you don't even have to sit there and watch the video. Put the you can put the video on in the background there, and you can hear the voices. You can hear the podcast, and again, it's going to remind you. It's going to remind you, folks, you need this. I need it. So, what else or who else can we? What else could you use as a reminder? There's all kinds of different ways that you can do. There's different things that you can use. I just threw out a couple of ideas for you. That's all I have, and that's what I've been using. So again, I thank you guys for hanging out. Kind of excited as this podcast goes on. I get more excited. Looking
I just
forward
had
to.
two questions for you. You said one quote earlier. You said you're either feeding your freedom or you're feeding your what? I didn't catch it.
You're either feeding your freedom or you're feeding your fear, I believe I said.
Yes, you did. Okay, yep. Yep.
Yeah. Let me see back. Look at some of my notes here way back. I do my best, folks. I know I make mistakes, man, but I try. And I'm going to continue to get behind the camera and do podcasts as long as I have breath and God shares. I'm going to continue to do it because it helps me and it helps other people. And if this is what God wants me to do, this is what God's called me to do. It took me a while to get here, but this is where it's at, folks. And I love this. I enjoy it. So thank you again. Thank you once
The,
again. We're going to be
the
back
last
here.
question,
And the
the
last
last
question you got, yeah, go ahead, Mateo.
yeah, I was gonna say, how many donations and like how much money is it gonna take until we can get you back on StreamYard so we can have multiple people, coming in?
Well, that's going to happen. That can happen. Financially is not the difficult part. But Yardstream or StreamYard actually for 1 year, you're looking at about $500, between $400 and $500. There are
Okay.
other streams that we can get. I'm looking into it, but it's just it's placement. It's placement. If anybody understands that, I have to have the right atmosphere in order to do the podcast. And right now, the only place that I have is this area where I'm at, where you see me at right now.
That's
This is
that's okay.
Yeah, this is the most energetic for me because like you said, we pick up people's energies, and when we don't feel energy that's proper, it's hard for us to communicate. So that's my
Yeah.
challenge. But as long as I have breath and we have this going, I believe we can set it up, and we will have either tablet or another way to do this, so we can have more. We will have a
Maybe we can set up some type of GoFundMe for you, and I can try and spread the word through communities like Twitter and TikTok because I recently started a TikTok and I'm kind of growing a fast following thanks to me going viral with some AI content. So I might be able to uh, try and do like a GoFundMe or something, maybe, and do like a GoFundMe for Santos so he can get back up on StreamYard. Because that's
well.
the most important thing. I want to make sure your community can, if anyone else like me wants to get on the camera and share their
I
message,
I
that's
know.
what that's what
I
I want. You
My
know.
heart is broken tonight because I'm learning how to use YouTube a little bit more, and I got used to the platform. So yeah, you're welcome to. Hey, anyone. I asked for $7. Somebody can donate $1,000 if that's the case, or they can just buy out the platform, right? Buy out the stream, pay for it, send us the link and the credentials, and we can go that way too. So there's different ways that we can do that. I'm always open. I have a little bit of funds coming, hopefully soon. I have some funds coming, and some of that could be used also to expand on this platform. So, thank you, Race. It's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege to have you on board with us on the camera. I miss Jim. He's probably in the
Yeah.
comments, so
I
he'll be
miss
on.
Jim too. We
He'll
miss
be
you,
on.
Jim. Okay. I'm not trying to take your spot next week. I can't wait to hear you again. I'm so excited.
Yes,
You
most
and
definitely.
Santos and Jim, best duo for anti-gambling awareness, Best duo. It
Well,
doesn't get better than that.
thank you for that. I appreciate it. Once again, to the live audience, I appreciate all of you guys. I hope you have a wonderful night. Monday's coming. You got to get up early and go to work if you do. And with that said, we've got some cool videos coming up this week. Got a couple of short videos. Watch them. Keep an eye out for some of these videos. Questions, and curiosity. That's what's going to get you thinking. And we'll see you guys on Sunday coming up with episode number 464. We're going to be doing journaling. We're going to dig into journaling. And hopefully we'll have some more guests on camera. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe this week we'll be able to open up the doors and have a bigger platform for Sunday. Never know. So With that said, thank you once again, all the way from Ohio, Stockton, California, and to the rest of you guys, have a safe night.
Bye, guys. Take it easy. God bless.